This program may contain adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Today's program is sponsored by The Anthony Vincent Salon. Say hello to beautiful.
Fashion, music, wellness.
And don't forget sex.
Mostly sex.
If it's trending, they'll be talking about it. Trend Radio is right here.
And right now, I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we always have something great to say.
Because it's us. So stay tuned.
You'll be glad you did. Good morning, Elise.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fabulous.
No, you're not. No, I'm kidding. Of course you're fabulous.
That's right. I'm Anthony freaking Vincent.
Of course you're fabulous. It's just that's my word.
This week in history, I can relate to this. It is Bad Boy Day.
No, it's not.
It's
No.
bad boy. So they were bad boys.
Bad Poetry Day.
What?
It's actually Bad Poetry Day.
Bad Poetry Day?
Yeah, listen.
Bad Boy Day?
No. You, every day with you is Bad Boy Day. But no, this is Bad Poetry Day, and that's on the 18th. That was a couple of days ago, actually. Yeah. I mean, come on. Not everybody is the best writer. And, or poet. Sometimes.
Or bad boy.
Yeah. And that's what that day is for. Don't let it stop you. You just keep on going. You write, and you continue to be that bad poet or that bad boy that you are. Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
But another day, today actually, is Homeless Animals Day.
Yes.
Everybody, go out and adopt a homeless animal, please.
That's right.
Take care of that. Or if you're not going to actually adopt, feed the ones that are outside. They need food. They need
that's what I
water.
do.
It's so hot. Make sure that they have water. Hydrate. Especially our furry little friends. We want to take care of them.
That's right. Just a few weeks ago was Empty the Shelter Day.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to take care of them. They take care of us. They're good for us, so we should be good to them. But I have something that I always have to bring up. We brought this up every year.
Every year.
Okay, so this past the 16th, just a few days ago, was National Roller Coaster Day. And I always give a tribute to my mama because she's the one who made us ride that cyclone at Coney Island. And it was such a huge roller coaster at the time that we were riding it. But just a little bit, about roller coasters. In the 1800s, 1878 to be exact, Richard Knudsen and J.G. Taylor, they got the patent for the wooden roller coaster on that day in history, the 16th of August. So I think that's really awesome. And there's a park in Arizona called Castles and Coasters, and they were giving free roller coaster rides on the 16th from like 5 to 10 p.m. So I'm sure there were a lot of up and downs. And that doesn't mean that you could treat your partner or your co-host with an up and down roller coaster attitude. Okay? So lighten up, you. Okay? It's not Bad Boy Day. It was Bad Poetry Day. Okay? So now let's move on.
Well, what's interesting, this summer, there's a lot of things that happen, to our bodies, and I have some natural remedies.
Okay.
For instance, ingrown hairs.
Okay.
What you do is get some used coffee grounds to slough off the skin. That allows the facial hairs to sprout up through the follicle.
This is fantastic. So after we make coffee at the salon, I'll save all those coffee grounds for
you. That's right.
And you can use them. You can slough off your face.
Well, Miss Priss, caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. And what it does is it helps ease exfoliation and
you know what?
induced
Mr. Bad Boy,
inflammation.
I know that.
Yeah, I know you know everything.
I happen to know that.
Miss Know-it-all.
No,
okay,
it's not like that.
So tell me then, how do you make your concoction with the coffee grounds?
Well, you know what? I actually don't know. However, here's what I would do if I knew. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I would actually mix those coffee grounds, probably with a little bit of coconut oil. That's what I would do. So give it some moisture and some oil. And I know the benefits of coconut oil because it's also an antioxidant and almost like it has antibiotic properties. So I would imagine this way it's like a moisturizer with the coffee grounds and the caffeine as a stimulant, as you said. And I think then, you'd mix that together, kind of make a paste out of it and apply.
She is a know-it-all.
Is that what you would do?
Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay.
Okay.
So here we are in the middle of August, and you've got skin tags all over your shoulder and your back. What do you do?
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I saw somebody the other day with a piece of string attached to. I think I saw you.
You didn't see me. Smart butt.
Smart butt.
What you do, you have a skin tag, you get a little dental floss, you tie a knot around
I
the skin
told you.
tag.
I knew what you were talking about.
Yes, and in a day or so that
if you don't
skin
use
tag will
dental
fall
floss,
off.
that's okay. You can also use thread.
You can use thread. That's right. And
In colors, different colors. If
to match your outfit.
If you have a lot of skin tags, you can really, coordinate with your outfits.
So I know that you're pretty active, and you're usually coming down with athlete's foot. I can tell
don't.
when you take your shoes off.
I do not have athlete's foot. And my shoes are off. Actually, my flip-flops are off. And if I had athlete's foot, I would not wear flip-flops.
Well, athlete's foot is a fungal infection, and
Like
it makes-
jock itch.
Yeah. It itches and flakes your feet, not your jock. You are so funny. So, what you do for athlete's foot,
You having fun here, Anthony?
I'm having a ball.
Okay.
You make a foot bath. You use warm water, add 2 tablespoons of pink Himalayan salt.
Which is amazing, by the way. That
does a lot of
Himalayan
stuff.
salt. Yeah.
Yes, half a cup of apple cider vinegar, and it creates an acidic solution, and the fungi on your foot won't stand a chance. It will kill athlete's foot. Very
Yeah.
natural remedy.
Yeah, that is a very good one.
That's right. And if you had age spots, there's signs of sun damage.
Oh, yeah. Plus, that also happens as you get older, I mean, you can't help that.
That's right.
But I think apple cider vinegar is also really good for that, too.
It absolutely is. It contains like a natural form of the alpha hydroxy acid that removes the outer skin layers.
And you know what, though? I know that you are doing this for your athlete's foot, the apple cider vinegar and
I
the
do not
Himalayan
have
salt.
athlete's foot or jock itch. Thank you
That's
very much.
not what I was saying. I'm talking to our listeners. But for the age spots, you can actually use the same solution, even though they're saying that you can actually use just the apple cider vinegar. The salt actually would help with that also, with the age spots. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would. I read that somewhere.
Okay. Well, you are amazing with nails. You're amazing on the air. And you are amazing with a bottle of super glue.
Ah, super glue.
Yes. And if you have cracked heels,
Absolutely.
they can be very, very painful. And you can get infections in your heels with these cracks.
Glue them.
Yeah. Super glue.
It's interesting that you should say that. You can glue a cut also. You can glue, I know this is going to sound crazy, but sometimes when I'm filing, I file very quickly, especially acrylic nails. And I don't use an electric file. So I sometimes hit my finger with the file, and it's, again, very fast and very strong. And so I cut myself with the file, glue it right up. Glue that cut. It's amazing.
That's
And
right.
it stays. Yeah, it stays.
Surgeons do it in the operating
Yes,
room.
they do.
super glue.
Yes, they do. They're before
sutures,
they
yeah.
suture. Yeah,
Yeah.
they suture with glue.
And a University of Washington study found that the class of adhesives used in super glue was effective at sealing split skin.
It's true.
Yeah. So wash and dry your heels. Apply 2 or 3 drops of glue along the length of each crack. Hold the
Yeah.
skin together for 1 minute.
Yeah, it really does work. That's an amazing thing.
Speaking of amazing things, do you realize that there are things that actually gross guys out in bed?
No,
Yeah.
I just didn't think a guy got grossed out in bed.
Either did I. But
Wow.
they do.
There's a study that says this.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're naked,
Interesting.
he's naked. You know, you're both aroused.
I would think that would be hot.
Yeah, I would think so. The smells, the sweat, and even the funny sounds that, suddenly become erotically charged.
Okay.
So, in the archives of sexual behavior this year, there was a study that women who were aroused felt significantly less grossed out by things they normally might be grossed out by.
Well, I can understand that because when you're aroused, you're not thinking of gross things. So I don't know why the guy would be.
Right. I don't know either. But the men's level of grossed outness, stayed exactly the
Grossed
same.
outness.
Yeah. Even in the heat of the moment.
Really?
Yeah, because I guess during sex, what you get down and dirty, just like.
Sure. But what could a man possibly be grossed out about?
Well, men tend to have a pretty low level of icky feelings about sex. Okay.
Yeah, but what actually grosses a guy out in bed?
Okay. Well, men are different than women, of course.
Sure.
But science says that these things could gross out even the most gross guys.
Really?
And by the way, we
What
all
is it?
know most guys are gross anyway. In an evolution of human behavior study, men said a stinky, smelly body influences, their sexual attraction.
Well, yeah. Who wants to be with somebody who smells
I don't know.
stinky at that?
Well, body odor can convey that you aren't taking care of yourself, even if you are. But, sometimes.
Well, it depends on also, your diet. Your diet has a lot to do with your body
Absolutely
odor,
does.
even if you shower.
Right.
But
I always thought that in an amorous mood, the body scents are, actually keep the attraction high.
it depends on, the level of attraction. Sometimes, the pheromones are off. Sometimes the connection's really not there. You might like what you're looking at, but
Your
if
nose
you
is
don't,
telling you
your nose
different.
knows, honey. Your nose knows.
Well, what about showering together?
Well, you can shower together, but that's only for a little while. That only lasts a little while. Then it comes back.
Yeah.
If there's something that isn't right, hygienically, obviously you can take care of that. But if it's not right the other way, it's not going to ever be right.
We've talked about this a couple of times on our show about that study that they took 5 couples and they made the guy sleep in the T-shirt for 2 days.
Yeah. And the lady knew who her guy was.
Right. They put the T-shirt in 5 different jars. Nobody knew whose T-shirt was who because they were all the same. The girls came over, lifted the lid on the jar, and 5 out of 5 picked out their
Their
man
guys, yeah.
just by the scent.
Yes.
And
I could totally understand that.
okay,
Yeah, I could do that
okay,
in a heartbeat.
okay.
I could do that actually with my friends too.
You could use
Yeah.
it.
Well, I have a great sense of smell. I just, it's a gift. But I have a great sense of smell. I know each one of my friends, guys or girls, I can tell who's who just based on their scent alone.
Well, and how about bad breath?
Oh, well, there are just different ways with that. There's obviously eating something that's not, like, for instance, your favorite perfume, garlic.
Garlic.
On a date when you don't know somebody, don't do it. Don't eat garlic, okay? When you do know somebody and you're with somebody, eat garlic together so you both have it, okay? Because that makes a really big difference. You don't want one to have it and one not to because, ew. But sometimes, breath goes a little bit deeper than that. There are just many other issues like You could have, dental issues. You can have health issues. And you could also have anger issues.
Oh,
if you get a
yeah.
little bit angry, sometimes it shows in your breath.
Yes, it does. We've talked about that. I've
Yeah.
experienced that.
That is correct.
Yeah, and the problem comes when bad breath is chronic, and it really can be a barrier to intimacy.
Absolutely.
It's like you
Well,
go to
that's
kiss
where-
and like you stink.
Well,
Oh.
that's where you want your partner to either, of course, not be angry with you. Also,
She's talking about
also-
her co-host.
you also want to make sure that you do take care of yourself hygienically. I mean, that's just important.
Your breath is
Anyway.
okay. You must not be mad.
Yes.
Finally.
Anyway.
You know what I think is when you're acting a little bit skittish about taking your clothes off and in front of him, and to me that's like pushing him away. And
Well, sexual insecurity, huge
Ooh,
buzzkill.
yeah, buzzkill.
Huge. I mean, there's no reason for that. If you're together and you're there, there's no reason to ever feel insecure with your partner. Because the reality is that they want you. They want you. So when they decide they don't want you, that I'd be insecure about. Like, who else do they want? What are they doing? Huh? What's going on here? But don't be insecure about your body. Your body's beautiful no matter what it is. Enjoy yourself. Be secure with yourself. Be confident.
that's right. Confident indicates that you know
And-
yourself well,
Confidence. Super, super sexy.
and you know what you like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And another thing is when you don't give your guy proper warning about being on your period.
Well, that depends on the guy.
You're-
Some guys like it.
Some do.
Yeah, remember that? We had that whole bloodhounds.
Oh, I
bloodhounds.
remember that. Yeah.
They like it. Some guys like it. So that's a discussion that you have to have beforehand.
Yes.
Because if the guy doesn't like it, oh my God, let him know. Let him know, because you know what? He might not want to, do that.
But even 60% of women aren't comfortable having sex during their period. And this was a recent study
that's a
surveyed
personal
by
choice.
Soft Cup.
That's a personal choice.
Oh, it is.
Personally, if you think about it, ladies, there's your lubricant. I know that might sound gross to some, but that's the truth, and it's natural.
Yeah, it is. So, if you happen to be in the minority of women who are actually cool with having sex during your period, make sure your guy's on board too. You should still give him a little heads up and just say, to let you know it's that time of the month. We can hold off.
Or go for it.
Or go for it. Oh, yeah, I like that.
Ouch.
And talking really dirty.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know that. Where is everything? Right between the ears.
Between your ears.
So when you talk dirty, oh, you feel it. You feel it big.
Yeah, and dirty talk is really the norm. 80% of people admit to doing a little bit of dirty talk.
Absolutely.
Into their arousal.
My friend who
Yes, the sex
tells me,
toy person.
Yeah, she tells me all about different things, and it's all about the butt, la la la. People, when they call her, they also ask for different manuals. Talk dirty manuals.
Are you kidding me? This is the
No.
first I've heard that.
Yeah, there are manuals. Learn how to talk dirty. Learn what to say to arouse your partner. Oh my God, there's so many of them.
We gotta get some of these books for.
Anybody. What you need that?
Oh, I don't. I'm talking about for the show.
Anybody needs any information about that, email me at trendradio920@gmail.com. I will send you anything you need to know about talking dirty and a $50 gift certificate to Anthony Vincent Salon. Ha.
That's right. And I'm definitely willing. I'm on board there. But yeah, according to a survey based on sex toy company Adam and Eve, 12% of people said dirty talk is always a part of their sex.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what? Don't go overboard, because a little too much, definitely a turnoff.
Well, I just think it would be a turnoff for the guy if he's a little insecure.
Well, you know what? the guy shouldn't be.
No, he should not be. And another thing, I had an experience with this long ago. When things are a little funky down there, that's a gross factor. That
Yeah, I can imagine that could be a little offensive.
Yeah. And,
Keep yourself clean, ladies.
Yeah, and that fishy smell is the most offensive odor to a man, and men could be wired to be repulsed, a smelly vagina, can signal an infection.
That's what I was actually just about to say.
Of course you were.
That's very important, ladies. If something doesn't smell right, that's because it's not right.
Yeah.
Check it out. Go see your doctor. You do not want an infection, and you certainly don't want something contagious either. So you want to check that out.
Most men are turned on by the bouquet of their woman.
Some are, some aren't, though.
This is interesting when you're in a long-term relationship versus, a relatively new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You pee with the door open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about it?
Well, okay. So here we are. You're in a long-term relationship, right?
Well, yeah, of course, but that's not the point. What's the point? What are you saying?
Well, nothing dims the glow faster than the sound of urine tinkling in the toilet.
It depends on if it turns you on or not.
Well, true. But men especially can be kind of...
Ewy about it?
Well, they're weird about the fact that...
I have to tell you something.
That
I know
area serves several purposes.
I know somebody who, she does not lock the door, close the door, or anything. She just goes, a girlfriend of mine, goes to the bathroom. Her husband goes crazy. He just thinks that is just insensitive and gross and yells at her every single time. He does not want to hear her pee. It is the funniest thing. And she tells me about it, and she does it on purpose now. She just does it because she thinks it's hysterical. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's like a normal bodily fluid. It's a normal bodily function. You're gonna go to the bathroom. What difference does it make? You know me 30 years. What's your problem? But it's so funny. She does it on purpose now.
Well, during sex, we separate ourselves from reality. And when you're still getting to know each other, you rely heavily on that fantasy land for intimacy.
I see. Yeah, I can understand that.
And that's not to say that you shouldn't use the bathroom after sex. I mean, we did a show on
you should
that.
always use the bathroom after sex, especially if you're, well, you see, if you don't really know each other, then you should be using a condom. Okay? So
that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show, exactly. But especially if there's, after he orgasms inside you, I mean, you definitely need to go to the bathroom, ladies, because you can have a problem. We've had that conversation. We've had that discussion. Doctors want us to tell you this.
Yeah. When I was 25, so I met a girl.
Only a few years ago, right?
It was about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I met a girl from Sweden. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, was she beautiful. And I fell head over heels. And so she was here on vacation. When she left, I was heartbroken. I flew to Sweden for a month to be with her. It was crazy. And, I look back on it and I'm glad I did it. But when I got there and was with her, she was such a pain in the butt, and she really was. And she would always say, "Okay, you must make water. Go to the bathroom, make water." And it's
what's interesting,
shut
though?
the hell up.
She was in her own atmosphere.
Yes.
And you didn't like her. You liked her better in your atmosphere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Isn't that because she was relaxed? She was in her area, whatever, and it's interesting.
So she would always be whining, make water afterwards. Well, turns out
water.
That's
That's just funny.
It turns out she was right. Mm-hmm. Turns out she was right.
Yeah.
So, but all we're saying is give yourself a little privacy when you're in the bathroom. And
well, again, unless he or she likes it.
I agree.
Okay, then.
I agree. And then here's another one. You kiss him right after going down on him.
What about when you kiss her right after going down on her?
Well,
Same thing.
Well, right, but for some...
But some people are okay with it.
And yes.
And some people aren't. Again, It's a matter of, your choices, you and how you personally feel. Some, it turns them on.
That's right.
Some, not so much.
Yeah, it's some people see body fluids as separate kinds of fluids.
Like sexy. Well, some people would see it as sexy or hot, lustful, sensual,
Yeah.
And some
But a lot of people
see it as dirty. Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on, who you're having sex with.
Yeah. And hopefully you are orgasming. Is that the word?
Orgasming. Yeah.
But
hopefully you're having orgasms.
do you know there are orgasm disorders?
I never heard orgasm and disorder in the same sentence.
That's
so I
right.
did not know that.
Right? There are orgasm disorders.
What is an orgasm disorder?
Well,
I guess it's somebody who can't have an orgasm.
Well, it's more than that. In most cases, orgasms are kind of like pizza. Even when they're bad, they're pretty good. But
I don't know. I've had some pretty bad pizza.
have you ever had a bad orgasm?
No.
Okay.
No, I never have.
Okay. For some women, the orgasm can be pretty darn complicated. And maybe they're not even having them, just like you said, or they're having too many.
Or maybe they don't know enough about it. Maybe they're not having it and they don't realize that they're not.
Yeah.
That is the question. They might not realize what's happening.
Do you know that some orgasms set off not so great reactions like pain?
Yes. Yes. Cluster headaches. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There are sometimes, depending on what's going on in your body, you can have an orgasm and have an intense migraine at the same time. The migraine will actually start. It's almost like a stabbing pain in your head as you're going into the orgasm. And you can't stop the orgasm. So you're actually having this intense, crazy orgasm and getting a migraine at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible.
Well, there are a few climax-related conditions that we're going to tell you about that do actually exist.
So,
and
okay.
The one is the orgasmic headache, the one you were just talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that's they're also called thunderclap headaches,
Yep.
but officially known as headaches with sexually active or coital cephalgia. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And these occur just before or during an orgasm, and it could feel like your head is in a vice or like an explosion of pain.
Or like you're being stabbed in the head. Like I was saying, it's like amazing. It's amazing.
And, this condition goes away without any treatment, but you should see your doctor because it could be a sign of a serious problem like low blood pressure.
Yeah, there could be a lot of other different issues also. Definitely, if that happens, definitely see your doctor. Some women taking NSAIDs about 30 minutes before, like Advil or something like that, that'll help prevent the pain. But if that's actually happening, you really definitely want to see a doctor. Dr. Lauren Streicher, author of Sex RX, notes it's definitely she says having sex can also cure headaches. And that's true. That research shows that you know how it happens when you actually have an orgasm. It actually blows up the vessels in your head.
Right.
So it can go one way or the other. So you want to just be careful with that.
Yeah, there's a joke about having a headache, and now I don't feel like doing it tonight, baby. I have a headache. Mm-hmm. Well, now men are armed with scientific data.
Headache, if you have a headache, this is the cure.
This will get rid of it.
Yeah.
There are non-vaginal orgasms also.
Yes, I know there are.
Yeah, and there's at least one case of foot orgasm syndrome in the book. Mm-hmm. And, the experts are looking for more cases, but they can't seem to find them. And that's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. One poor soul, reported feeling spontaneous orgasms in her left foot. And her doctor believed that there were some crossed wires in her nervous system.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
Yeah. The nerves, for the foot and the nerves for your genitals entered the spinal cord in like a very similar point. And What is that stuff that you do on your
Well,
feet?
I can imagine. I don't know that would be called an orgasm on your foot. I mean, I can understand it be called a spasm or something like that, right? Like I would think a spasm, but why would they call it an orgasm?
Because what happens, it's the nerves in the foot go to the genital area. When we used to do that reflexology at the salon.
Yeah, I still do reflexology.
Okay, and there was a joke that everybody was saying, do my genitals, because we would massage certain areas of the foot that were attached to the genital.
Or the hands.
What would happen would you'd massage part of the foot, and it would increase your sexual desire.
Yes. That is what they say it would do.
Yeah. But this particular gal who was having orgasms every time from her feet, what they did is they injected her foot with anesthesia.
Oh, so that numbed that.
It numbed it.
Very, very interesting.
And, I've heard about people talk about this as, painful orgasms.
Yeah.
And it usually goes hand in hand with painful sex.
Yeah, that's when you want to go see your OBGYN. If there's something painful, whether you're having painful sex or pain during an orgasm, you definitely want to see your doctor.
Right. Unless your man is just, roughhousing you. But
well, now that's a different story. See, that's not necessarily painful sex. That's not what they're talking about.
No, they're talking about infection.
Oh, they're also talking about just anything. Remember, we actually had a show where some women have painful sex. It's so bad because they're so small, and they actually needed to be stretched out. And remember, what was it that they had to use? That
it was like a balloon thing.
Yeah.
It was a.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
We did that about a year or two ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was.
So anyway, plus there could have been something, caused by an injury, a car accident, God forbid. There's all kinds of different things that could cause pain. And big one, endometriosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm watching, I think it was on 60 Minutes or something like that, and they had a gal on that had non-stop orgasms.
Oh, while you might think that's a good thing, not so much. You definitely want to be able to take a breather.
Yeah. The nonstop orgasms are known as persistent genital arousal disorder.
Wow.
And it's not as fun as you think.
No, they say it's like hell. Yeah, it just doesn't stop. You're so sensitive that you can actually have an orgasm from wearing jeans that are too tight, or riding in the car, sitting in your car, hitting a bump and having an orgasm. It could set off for hours of orgasm. It's crazy to be that sensitive.
Yeah,
it's an actual condition.
Yeah, and it is hell according to the women that have it.
Yeah.
And and doctors aren't sure what really causes the condition.
They call it nerve entrapment.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, but they do put together. They have a treatment plan for this because there's a treatment for everything. I wonder if they do anesthesia injections there.
I was just going to say that.
Were you?
Yeah, I was.
Were you inside my head again?
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's something called a sneezegasm.
Yes, that is also a very sensitive person. When you sneeze, you have an orgasm. It's sexually induced sneezes. Can you imagine?
Wow. So you get all turned on and you start sneezing?
Mm-hmm. And then they climax. Yeah.
And they sneeze whenever they're turned on.
Mm-hmm.
They're having sex, they're sneezing. They're having their orgasm, they're sneezing.
Scientists think it happens when some wires in your autonomic nervous system, which regulates arousal, get crossed. And it's also possible that people with this problem have some erectile tissue in their nasal passages.
Ah.
Wow. Hey, you know what? Take a decongestant before sex. You'll be glad you did.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I used to date a gal that was ticklish during sex. So, and she was always laughing and giggling and twitching. And I got to tell you, as a man, I found that extremely annoying and an extreme turnoff. I wasn't even interested because she was jumping and laughing and giggling. It just ruined the mood.
Sometimes too much is just too much.
Yeah.
But how about the people that have no orgasms at all? I know that's pretty common.
Yeah. But up to 15% of women have never had an orgasm.
Now that's just sad.
And as many as 40% of women have had problems with orgasms at some point in their life.
Well, I mean, you could have a problem because there could be something going on in your mind, in your life, that's affecting you when you're having sex.
Yeah, your relationships,
But sure, there could be stress. You're super stressed at work, at home. Abuse is awful. That, something in your past you can't let go of.
That's right. Abuse from your co-hosts.
Yeah, definitely. That could be a problem. Drugs. You could be on drugs, prescribed or not prescribed. And those can suppress desire, if you have a medical issue or something like that. Truth be told, if you haven't seen a doctor about this yet, do see a doctor.
We're talking about all these problems with orgasms. Do you know that, like the sneezing and the riding the bike and the wearing the tight jeans things, there are some non-sexual things that can help you to orgasm.
Like what?
Well, okay. From vibrators to masturbation, there are lots of ways to make your orgasm out.
You said non-sexual things,
right?
That would, I would think that a vibrator and masturbation, I think that would be sexual,
right? And those are because remember, 40% of women have no orgasm at all, and that these vibrators help make it a little bit easier, or at least more fun.
I see.
But there are some non-sexual ways that can do the trick too. And these are from sleeping to working out to even just thinking. There are some surprising ways that you could reach orgasm.
Thinking, we talk about this again, between the ears. So thinking and talking and discussing things, stuff goes on inside your head, and that helps with reaching an orgasm, absolutely. But sleeping and working out and eating well and drinking water, those are things that you can just do that help your body be optimum.
That's right.
And that's what's important.
You mentioned sleep, and during the REM stage of sleeping, and REM is rapid eye movement. It's not uncommon for the female genitals to become, like engorged and lubricated, and it really can lead to orgasms. And these orgasms are often, accompanied by like erotic dreams, but they can also occur during dreams, of a non-erotic nature.
Wow. So there's a New York-based psychiatrist and sexual therapist, Barbara Bartlick, and she has all kinds of information and studies about this. If anybody wants any information, again, just email us at trendradio920@gmail.com. I'll send you a $50 gift certificate. You can actually come in, have your hair and your nails done or whatever, and then go out for a very, very lovely dinner with your sweetheart, lover, friend, whoever you want to, and maybe practice some of these orgasmic tricks.
I go to the gym and I see these women, they're dressed like they're going to a nightclub. They're active wear,
Yeah, some of it has sparkles, I know. I've seen some of it. It's hilarious.
Some of it is erotic, some of it is sexy.
Some of it's stupid.
Well,
how do you work out in that? That's ridiculous. Some of it is dumb.
There was a gal in the gym the other day.
And wearing makeup, really? What the hell is wrong with you? You're there to work out.
Oh no, they're there to...
They're there to play, but they're taking up space.
Well,
that's ridiculous.
There was a gal in the other day at the gym who her outfit actually was kind of nice. She had on a workout outfit, but then on the outside of her workout costume, she was wearing a bustier.
Yeah.
I'm looking and I'm thinking, so is this something like she got at Victoria's Secrets, or was it something that she got from her doctor to support her back? Because it was really kind of interesting.
If she was wearing a bustier, if she was wearing something to support her back while she worked out, it would be a belt type of thing, or it would be something underneath her t-shirt or something like that, or something, around her that isn't sexy. If she's wearing a bustier, she's an insecure person who needs to flaunt herself and show herself for whatever her reason is, but she's just an insecure girl. Stay away from those types. Girls who go to the gym with their hair and their makeup on, wearing bustiers, they're there for, they're not there to work out.
Well, I work out at different times of the day, and sometimes I'm there at 6 a.m, sometimes I'm there at 6 p.m, and sometimes I'm there in between. And these gals are wearing the tiniest little tops and bottoms.
Yeah.
And I'm freezing to death.
Well, they're working out. They're actually working out, so their bodies are actually heated up. And some of their outfits are made of Lycra, and they're made so that they don't sweat, and they're the dry weave so that they stay cool for that particular reason. And there's nothing wrong with those outfits, and there's nothing wrong with them at all.
Well, I don't know. I work out as hard as any of them, and I'm freezing my tush off in there. So I'm in my shorts, t-shirts, and I have a hoodie on, and then when I finally do warm up, the the hoodie comes off.
I'm sorry that you're cold.
All righty. Getting back. The exercise orgasm is called the Coregasm.
Coregasm.
The Coregasm. It's exercise-induced, and according to a landmark study conducted just a few years ago, abdominal exercises, hence the Coregasm, climbing, lifting weights were among the most common exercises that induced an orgasm.
I have a girlfriend whose daughter does Soul Cycle. Mm-hmm. She teaches it, and she actually moved to California and opened up a whole Soul Cycle center. Soul Cycle addicts will be happy to know that exercise-induced sexual pleasure was also reported during biking and spinning. So there you go, Jen.
Is that why all these spinning classes are all women? Mm-hmm. And maybe just one or two smart guys that are having the class.
Well, the guys don't really get off the same way. However, if the guys are there and the girls are feeling a little sexy, they're looking, I can guarantee you, they're looking at those guys. So those guys might be pretty smart. So maybe you should...
The spin class, huh?
Yeah, go right for it. Absolutely.
Well, I'm more of a cerebral kind of guy. And, there's not a whole lot of science behind this one. But there's a New York-based sex coach. Her name is Barbara Corellis, and insists that you can actually think yourself to an orgasm.
So I was doing nails one day, and one of my clients actually said those exact words.
Really?
She actually said, I have no trouble with that. I can think myself into an orgasm.
Are you kidding?
Nope.
So she's thinking off.
Yeah, thinking off, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Thinking off. That's great.
They have these shows on TV about prisons.
Uh-huh.
And this was a story that I've actually seen repeated twice. And it was a guard who was having an affair with one of the prisoners. And I guess this happens more than you think.
More than you think.
Really?
I also have a friend who was a warden. Oh my God, that's all I have to say about that.
Really? Well, tell us.
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
just in case they happen to be listening, I don't want them to think that they can't trust me. Well,
we're not mentioning the prison. We're not mentioning the warden.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, this guard had a man who thinked himself to an orgasm.
He thinked himself, or he thought himself?
He thinked himself.
That's great. Okay. Okay, so everybody get it.
I'm Gumby, damn it.
He thinked himself.
He thinked it himself. She said she watched him lay there on his bed and become aroused and actually orgasmed, not touching himself, just thinking off.
Wow. Thinking off. It's like face off, think off.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And some people claim that the sound of whispering or tapping fingernails can cause pleasurable tingles.
Yes. Well, whispering can be very sensual.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
When somebody whispers in your ear or blows in it, you get like goosebumps and chills, and it really is a turn on.
Yeah. It leads to an experience some call now a braingasm.
Oh.
Yeah. It leads to feelings of euphoria, and relaxation. Yeah. It's
So
lovely.
that's where they get the term braingasm, huh?
Yes.
It's actually the autonomous sensory meridian response. That's what it's
Interesting.
called.
Interesting.
And during that whisper, and
Very, very sexy to whisper.
yes, it is, and to dream. Did you ever have a sex dream?
Oh, yeah.
You really?
Yeah. Of course.
Who was in it?
I'm not telling.
No, you never tell. You're no fun.
I'm plenty of fun. I'm just private. I don't air everything out there.
Oh, I'm an open book.
Yeah, right.
But did you know that sex dreams account for about 8% of our everyday dreams?
Really? No,
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah. And there's no way to know who is your partner or partners in these dreams.
There's no way. What if it actually is somebody that you recognize or know?
It
Then
could
it's
be.
them.
Right.
Then
It
it's
could
them.
be.
Yeah, okay.
It could be somebody you know. It could be somebody you don't know. There's no way. And if you're a woman who identifies as heterosexual, it can be especially confusing when you dream about having sex with another woman.
Yes.
Sex expert David Logan Levkoff is chiming in on that. And in fact, he's got quite a bit to say.
About?
Fantasies are just that. They're fantasies.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So if you shouldn't actually read into them?
No. What happens is they give us an opportunity to try out different roles and personalities and experiences that we may not ever want to try in real life.
Oh, but you can try it in dreamland.
That's right. It's like doing Rachel Ray on the kitchen table. You dream
yeah.
about that, but that doesn't mean I really want to do it.
Right.
But I do.
Right.
Rachel Ray, if you're listening, I know you have an open relationship.
Yeah.
I don't. But my lady says I can do you on the kitchen table. You're the only one. So, Rachel, email us here at Trend
Yeah,
Radio.
Rachel, definitely. I mean, you don't know what you're missing here. This is something important. Do this. Do it, Rachel.
Please. All right, seriously. And this explanation applies to more than sex dreams. They're pregnancy dreams.
Oh, there's
they're
all
flying
kinds.
dreams, switched lives with someone else dreams. Dream,
yeah. There's always a dream.
That's right.
Something, yeah.
Dreaming something, doesn't make it true. And it definitely doesn't mean that you need to reconsider your sexual identity, if you're already secure with it.
That is interesting.
Dr. Levkoff adds that you shouldn't push down any genuine feelings of a dream, that these feelings are drummed up for you. If you have identified as a heterosexual, but you think you might want to explore dating or sleeping with the opposite sex or the same sex,
Do it in a dream.
it's okay if you do it.
Do it in a dream.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Trend Radio continues after this on 920 The Jersey.
I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got chemistry? Is your salon consistent, happy, edgy, magical, impeccable, satisfying, trendy? Are you ready for anything? Say hello to beautiful.
Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did. I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got static? Does your hair fly away? Prioritize and winterize. Spritz your hairbrush, comb through, and now you're ionized. Say hello to beautiful.
Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did.
So you finally got your girl naked in bed. Finally. Mm-hmm. And love can be messy, especially the sex part. But
It doesn't have to be, though.
The first time.
Well, it depends. Okay.
All right, even a couple of times.
Well, it could be a little awkward.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
all right. So straighten things out. Have a conversation. We always talk about that. Have a conversation.
Always. Communication. Key.
That's right. And if you do it with tact, you have to develop a vocabulary to talk about sensitive issues.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Anyway, that's what sex therapist Arlene Goldman says.
Yes, because there are certain things you should never, ever, ever say to a naked lady.
That's right. You got to say them before she's naked.
Absolutely. Or after.
Or after. And this will help you to please your partner.
Absolutely.
In fact, there was a recent study published in the Journal of Couple and Relationship Therapy. Mm-hmm. And it found that and we say this all the time, that communication is the most critical factor to a couple's success.
Absolutely.
And the more...
I agree with that.
Right. And the communication is even more significant than the sex itself.
Well, because the communication shows that you trust each other and that you consider each other important and that you feel that it's, again, important to discuss everything prior to anything else. Mm-hmm. It's important to discuss everything.
It is.
And have communication. Open that door, open those walls. Make sure that you communicate with each other. And that goes for any relationship, and especially your co-host relationship.
Yeah, especially. That's why you should pause before you open your mouth.
Absolutely.
And say something that you'll regret.
Think before you speak. Count if you need to.
Okay, so things you should never say to a naked lady, like, is that a fake orgasm?
Oh my gosh. Never, never, never. After sex, never, never, never accuse your lady, especially while she's naked, of faking an orgasm. Ever.
Many do.
There are a lot of fakers out there, okay? I've heard about this. But here's what you do, okay? Instead of discussing it with her while she's naked, discuss it over dinner. Say, hey, sweetie, whatever you call her, dumpling, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call her. Ask her, if things are okay with the two of you. Open up. Tell her how beautiful you think she is. Tell her how wonderful things are. And start getting involved in your sex conversation. And have a discussion, a real discussion about it. That's what I would do, or I would want.
Okay. All right. So so then you're saying, oh, not now, my little Kreplach. I'm not interested. I'd just rather read my book.
Ew. Any guy who would ever say, I'd rather read my book to their lady, that's bad. But
guys are not always in the mood.
I don't know that. I don't know any of them. But okay, but aside from that, here's the thing though, and this is the truth. Men like women, women like men. Everybody is entitled to their own time. Everybody is. But when it comes to sex, I've just never heard a man ever say, I've never heard that.
Alrighty, so okay, how about this one? Okay, okay, baby, there's this thing I want to try. I'm going to get up on the roof.
Don't you
and I want
ever
you to
talk like that, though. Everybody listen. What he just did, don't do while she's naked, guys.
This is my sexy Dr. Love voice.
Don't do it. That is not Dr. Love. That was somebody that you dug out from underneath a rock. Okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
so hey, baby, there's something I've been wanting to try, and it's a little weird.
Ooh. Okay, now, while that could be a turn on for some, it might not be a turn on for others, because when you're naked and vulnerable, you might not be feeling that you want to be tied up and into like bondage or exhibitionism or anything like that. So what you want to do is, when you want to try something new and that you think could possibly be weird, I would have that conversation with her prior to actually getting undressed. So that, she can feel comfortable too.
You're in bed, you're naked, but you didn't have the STD talk. It's like, baby,
Ouch. Ouch,
yeah,
ouch.
You got any
Not a
diseases,
turn on.
communicable diseases?
Not a
before-
turn on. If you don't know this prior to entering, your sexual rendezvous, don't. Okay? You need to know that your partner is clean and safe, and if you're in
Before you
before
start-
you
before
start
you get her
anything.
naked.
Yeah.
All right. How about the George Costanza thing where, he has that ends with a swirl, but he gets like tapped on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to feel good?
You do not say that. Men, please do not do that while she is naked.
Women don't
No.
say that.
Yeah, but
Nobody say that.
nobody, but this is the guy saying this to the girl. Things you should never say to a naked woman.
Well,
okay?
suppose you're a woman and
Okay.
naked with a woman.
No, okay, true. Okay, when anybody is naked and having sex, don't ever say, is that supposed to feel good? Yeah, don't do that.
It's condescending.
Again, it is condescending, and it's uncomfortable, and it's going to make
It's going to
somebody feel
drop-
insecure.
And that's right. You'll lose your confidence.
Exactly. You never want to ever put anybody down, especially while they're naked, because they're there for you.
That's right. You should always build them up.
Always
Build them up, and you will keep them up.
No pun intended.
You've been listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You want more? Go right to our website, 920thejersey.com, click on demand, and scroll directly to us.
And get the lowdown on getting down. Tune into your bad boy inside you.
Or your bad girl.
Listen each week. We always have something sexy to say. Got questions? Email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
And remember, your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card.
But how you make people feel, well, that becomes your trademark.
I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye for now.